Hello everyone, welcome to the Power BI course. Today we are going to learn one more visual in this visualization series in Power BI, and that is a slicer. Now slicers are so important because without a slicers we cannot filter our data on the report or dashboards, and so we have to have a slicers, and we have more than one slicer on all reports. So there are many different types of the slicers in Power BI, as you can see on the slide, and we are going to learn all of them. We are also going to learn all the tips and tricks so you can have the best use of slicers on your report. And at the end we are going to learn a syncing of the slicers as well, so you can filter the data on other pages as well. So let's get started. I'm going to open up Power BI, and I have a data model which has a couple of tables in it, and I created one matrix here where I put it my brand name and total sales. I also have another page here, and where also I have one matrix, product category and total sales, so which we can use while testing our slicers. So I'm going to select the slicer from the visual pane, and in the slicer section then you have another slicer as well. So this is our regular slicer, and this is a slicer new which is under development. However, it can allow you to create a slicer with the buttons. So let's look at that first, and let's get some data here. So I'm going to put it my channel name, and as you can see we have 4 channels and we have 4 buttons now. So let's look at the formatting part. So currently it's filtering the data, so you can see here, and you can deselect as well. Now let's look at the formatting part. So we are going to look at the formatting specific to the slicers. So I'm going to click on this slicer settings, and we have a selection section here which has a single select is currently enabled, and that's why we can select, we can filter the data by selecting individual button. And now we have a force selection as well, which can allow us to select more than one button at a time. But for that you need to select this button first, which is select all. So enable that, and then enable this one. So and then disable this one, single select, then only it allows to select more than one button. And now using a control key you can select more than one button. So that is about the selection on the slicer. Now let's look at the shape here. So there are different types of shape: rounded, rectangle and snipped tab, both top as well. You can use according to your preference. You can change the rounding as well. So that is about shape. You can select different layouts and all that on the slicer. You can change the rows and columns. So for like if I wanted to have a single row, then I can have, but then I have 5 buttons, so I'm going to go for 5 columns, and I can have this look, which is I like it. So you can have that. You can change the spacing between buttons. You can change the values by their fonts, font size. You can change this state as well, but I usually use the default because there are nothing much difference, so default is good for me. You can align as well, so center usually looks good. Then you can have the image as well. You can put it image if you like, and for that for individual button as well if you want. So you can set a background as well, all that. Let's see the button formatting. So you can change this state You can change the padding. You can have the border. The feel is interesting because by default is white, but you can change the colors here, and you can change the transparency and all that. So this is about this slicer. Now let's look at another slicer, our regular version. So that slicer, let's put it some data here. I'm going to have my product category on this. So this is our simple list slicer. You can make it drop down. We used to make it from here, but now the message, you can see it moved to the slicer settings. So let's go to the slicer settings, and it moved here. You can have a drop down. It depends on how much space you have on your report, because drop down can be very slim. You can do that. You can have a tile as well. We'll look at that in a minute, but leave it here. Selection we already know. Let's look at the values. So values as well, we know the formatting. So that is about that. Now let's add a subcategory here. So product subcategory. And as you can see here, now we have this hierarchical look where you can have a product category and subcategory. And as soon as we added subcategory here, we have now this hierarchy section as well. You can expand that, and there you can change this. So currently our hierarchy main category and subcategory has this much space, but if you wanted to increase, you can change this, and you can increase. You can put it on 0, so they do not have any difference there. So that about the hierarchy levels. You can change this look as well. So currently it's on chevron, but you can have the plus minus. So it becomes like the matrix hierarchy look. And then you can have the last option, there is a caret. So you can have this look as well. So this is about the regular list slicer. Now let's remove this subcategory and go back to the slicer settings, and we can have this tile now. So on the tile you can see that it can become similar to this button slicer. Let's look at that. So the selection we already learned, so leave it that. On the values then, you can make the fonts bold and all that. You can change the background here. So let's look at this. So it becomes similar to the button slicer. You can have the borders as well from top and bottom. You can change the line width of the border as well. So you can have this look as well. So this is about this regular list tile or a drop down slicer. Now let's create another type, which is our slider. So let's get this third slicer, and let's have first date in it. So I'm going to pick the date from my calendar, and as you can see here that we have a slider, and we can change the data. So by sliding on the date, let's look at the formatting part here. So this slicer settings, the style by default is in between, so we can see the start and end date, and the slider runs between two. It has some other stuff as well, like before, so it's going to disable the start part, so you can only slide now from the last date. Similarly, it can have after, the drop down also it can have, but that we have too many dates, but you can have that. The relative date is interesting here. So you can get these three sections. In the first box you have three options: last, next, and this. So it is going to work accordingly, like we will have a current date here. So as soon as you pick, so like day, so it picked up a today's date. So that is this slicer. Now because our data is not from this year, so it doesn't show here, but you can have this option as well. You can go by last, this, or next if you have a current data, because it's going to compare to current date. But this option is very good option. Let's go back to the between so we can get our slider back, but so we can have overall data. Now quickly let's look at how to sync the slicers. So let me select this slicer, and I have my sync slicer button here. If you don't, then you can go to the view and you can have the sync slicer option there. Now let's quickly look at that. So I have the first on the SLICER. When you select the slicer, it shows on this pane the first page name. So I have two pages here. Then my slicer visibility. So currently my slicer is located on main page, so it's visible there. And then my second page doesn't have anything, but my second page, as I showed, I have one table here, and I want my slicer to slice that data as well. So in that case, then you can, if you want to show slicer there, then you can click this visible part as well, the checkbox. And this main, so all checkboxes are checked now. So you can see that when you go back to the page, you can see the slicer here as well. But in my case, I don't want to see the slicer there, but I still wanted to, so I'm going to remove this, uncheck this. So you cannot see the slicer, and when you go back, you have your data. So remember that this total, and when you filter that, you can let's filter it by only catalog. So this slicer currently filtering here, and it also filters here that data. So that is about syncing the slicers, and you can sync the slicer on the pages of your choice or all pages on the report same way. So guys, this is all about the different slicer options in Power BI, and if you like the content of my video, then please comment, like, share and subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching.